to the Memorial Center in Johnson's basketball tonight, along with Jordy Holtberg. This is Dave Weekley. Time to take a look at our starting lineups. First for the Thundering Herd of Marshall. At the forwards, Sean Moore and Tyrone Phillips. Luke Gross in the pivot, and the guards, Frank Martin and Tink Brown. Dwight Freeman in his third season on the bench for the Marshall Thundering Herd. Marshall at 7-3. And let's check the lineups. The starters for the East Tennessee State Buccaneers of Alan LaForce. The forwards, a good pair, Trezell Silvers and Jerry Pelfrey. Darrell Jones in the middle. He had 20 rebounds on Sunday against Georgia Southern. Jason Niblett and Eric Palmer, your cat-quick guard pair.
The diminutive ones.
The Pac-Men of college basketball.
This will be a game of tempo. East Tennessee State wants to get it up and down the floor. The Thundering Herd wants a little more of a control pace, and they want to set screens and get Mr. Phillips open because he's their first, second, third, fourth option. Look for him to get it up every opportunity he gets.
Phillips, now over 1,000 points in his career. He's the 33rd member of the Marshall Thundering Herd to do that all time, averaging over 24 points per game. That is tops in the Southern Conference.
I love what Coach Freeman said about him. He says he doesn't turn the ball over because all he does is catch it and shoot. He doesn't look to pass or dribble. He just gets it and goes. And there's your series record, a nail-biter, nip and tuck, 16-15. And East Tennessee State won both games last year. And East Tennessee State did more for this conference last year by beating Arizona in the first round of the NCAA tournament, woke up the country to recognize that this conference has exciting, exceptional basketball.
East Tennessee State was the 14th seed in the Southeast region, and they won the first NCAA tournament game in a decade for the Southern Conference. Alan LaForce, 27 years as a high school and college basketball coach, and we are ready for action. Glad you could join us tonight. Marshall controls the tap, and Tink Brown, the point guard of the Marshall Thundering Herd, quickly into the front court.
Man-to-man defense.
And there's Phillips in the paint. Back iron, no good. Rebound, Jerry Pelfrey for East Tennessee State. Jason Niblett to Trezell Silvers.
Good transition back to defense.
Palmer with the nice feed to Pelfrey, and East Tennessee State draws first blood.
Pelfrey had 28 and 22 respectively his last two games out. Moving without the basketball, always the toughest player to defend.
Marshall onto the basketball. Tink Brown trying to get it inside to Tyrone Phillips.
Coach LaForce saying, let's get it down the floor and go.
This is the first of a three-game league homestand for East Tennessee State tonight. Luke Gross in the paint, puts it up and in.
Ought to take care of business down low with his size. They can work it to him. He may be the second link, the second scorer in this ball club.
Pelfrey guarded closely by Sean Moore, back up top.
Good pressure on the ball, denying wing passes, covering down low.
Marshall players on the court. Niblett inside. Up and in for Jones.
Here comes full court pressure.
And you can understand why. The outstanding total quickness of East Tennessee State.
Gross doing it all. Inside, outside.
Ball's loose. Sean Moore. And Palmer tied up. And on the possession arrow, East Tennessee State gets it back, so the full court pressure defense pays early dividends for Alan LaForce and the Buccaneers.
He wants to up-tempo it. I'm sure Coach Freeman wants Gross to inbound the ball and get out of dodge and go down low on the block, and let's send another guard back to help out against pressure. Oh, he should have had it if he was awake.
Good pass inside, looking for Silvers, and Sean Moore steps into the passing lane and makes the steal.
Oh, you better protect the basketball in this one.
Frank Martin streaking to the basket. And a blocking foul called inside on Jerry Pelfrey. That's the first personal foul on Pelfrey. Team foul number 1.
A little bit out of control, to say the least, but let's see what happens as we take another look at it. As you beat the pressure, you take the ball to the basket, stop at the free throw line. Looked like he was in position, should have gone the other way. You don't get those kind of calls a lot when you're on the road, but now you must pay and answer. And Martin hits the first.
Dwight Freeman has yet to win in this building as the head coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd, and Alan LaForce showing his displeasure with the call.
Still working the official for future calls.
Frank Martin with 1 of 2, and one of the Jason Niblett comes out of the pack with the basketball, puts it up and in.
Wire to wire, you must stop the basketball, and the diminutive one took it the length of the floor.
Inside, Tyrone Phillips, double team, fights and gets it up and in off the glass.
What hands and what explosiveness off the floor in a hurry.
The first 2 points of the night for the 6'8 senior from Los Angeles. Palmer goes baseline.
Send it out.
Slapped away by Ty Phillips.
Send it out. Doing it all. What a
Look
pass.
away pass by Brown. Tries to get it to Phillips. Marshall will keep it underneath their own bucket. East Tennessee State with a 6-5 lead. We are just underway. Michael Peck checking into the game. Peck had a 16-point effort in Marshall's 1-point win over UTC on Saturday in Huntington.
And depth has been the key to their success this year. They come off the bench and not lose anything production-wise. So the longer they stay in the game, fatigue does not enter a factor with them.
Sean Moore trying to get on track offensively, misses, and Jones has the rebound for UTC. And Tink Brown steals the outlet pass.
Oh, it looked like Fred Astaire on the tap dance.
Moore will go to the line for 2.
What a tightrope effort by Brown along the sidelines, anticipating the pass, and Kelly and Astaire couldn't do it better. So right now, Marshall playing a little of ETSU's game, picking up, forcing some turnovers, and getting to the free throw line, which is always an important aspect.
Now Marshall will cause some steals, no question about that. Sean Moore hits the first of 2.
This is a very deceptive gym. You know, it's a mini dome. It's a multi-purpose facility where they play football, run track, play tennis, and oh, by the way, do play basketball. So behind the goal, it's like an empty cavern. So you have to really focus in on the 10 and concentrate.
Tony Patterson checks into the lineup. Michael Peck
Get it out.
has his shot rejected by Patterson. Loose ball inside, and Pelfrey, the chairman of the board for East Tennessee State. And Sean Moore whistled for the personal.
You have to like the aggressive nature, going to the basketball, climbing up on the glass. Both teams sense the urgency in this one. A must-win situation for both.
Especially for East Tennessee State. Trezell Silvers with the pull-up pop. Pelfrey takes it away from Peck, goes up strong, draws the foul. He's heading to the line for 2.
Peck with the, you're not going to get an easy one off of me. And Pelfrey, who's really shined of late. 5 straight double-figure games. As you said, got his shooting eye back. Here comes the stop and pop that won't go. Pelfrey inside position, comes down with the rip, and then get him up, take it up, and draw the contact.
Pelfrey with the first of 2. And if you're thinking that name is familiar, it is. His brother John Pelfrey was a big star at Kentucky. Rick Pitino, 2 for Jerry Pelfrey. It's 8-6.
Such a big star that he and 4 other players put on some clinics after their senior year. Raised about $400,000 in the state of Kentucky.
Wow.
$400,000.
Michael Peck goes over the East Tennessee State bench.
You did not know that, did you?
No, I didn't know
See
that.
there? Stick with me.
You know, you're talking about Peck shining. I think he looks like he got his hair cut just before this game. Not too much hair on the top of Michael Peck's head.
Good matchup here with Palmer. Down low with Martin.
Silver has his shot blocked by Ty Phillips, and Phillips has got 2 early blocks for the Herd.
2 teams with outstanding athleticism. Get up and create and send it back.
Pelfrey, the trigger man. East Tennessee State under their own basket to Niblett. Marshall remains in a man-to-man. Niblett, baseline, got it.
Nice shot, but you notice there have been no gimme baskets for East Tennessee State. So the transition game that we talked about earlier, Marshall getting back, doing a nice job.
Jordy, one of the differences in this year's Marshall team has been their outstanding defense. They are really aggressive.
Nowadays in college basketball, if you do not play it on the half court defensively, you cannot win. And for Marshall, they have to find a secondary scorer, another go-to guy, because pretty soon some teams are going to really try and clamp down on the main man.
Tink Brown
Pretty.
takes the nice feed from Ty Phillips and puts it up and in. To add to that point, the only other player for Marshall in double figures is Malik Hightower, stolen by Sean Moore, and Silvers commits the personal.
He comes off the bench, so he's got that Boston Celtic sixth man spark plug. And once again, another turnover. Shot goes up. Make it a pass. And the Telegraph, Western Union, picked off, and the foul.
Trying to slip it to Tony Patterson. Sean Moore steps into the passing lane. Frank Martin trying to regain that shooting touch. Inside to Peck. Misses the dunk.
Well, you can't make those mistakes in a big-time game like that. Excellent pass to the open side, and you must finish.
Pelfrey to the baseline, double team. Silvers with a three on the way. Patterson with the follow, counted and the foul. Tony Patterson, 6'9" sophomore, Flat Lick, Kentucky.
Inside opportunity, too many people watching the flight of the ball and not screening out. Patterson will spin, get inside position, doesn't bring it down. Nice play off the window, a chance for three. And here's a guy that's been invisible. He gets 17 points against VMI and then goes into hiding at 6'9". Has to be productive on the glass, a la that play.
Andy Pennington, freshman guard from Madisonville High School in Tennessee, checks into the lineup. Luke Gross returns for the Marshall Thundering Herd. Patterson short on the free throw attempt. East Tennessee State with their largest lead. It's 12-8, just over 15 minutes to go. A runner counted for Frank Martin.
Sweet. Martin, one of those prove-it-to-me players. They thought, okay, he's going to give it up. He's not going to take it to the basket. And he said, okay, watch the leaping leaner go in, initiate the contact, and soft touch as he watches the ball kiss and go in. Chance for three.
Pennington whistled for the foul, and Frank Martin completes a three-point play that draw the Marshall Thundering Herd within a point. We're just underway from the Memorial Center in Johnson City, Tennessee. The Buccaneers of ETSU with a one-point lead over the Thundering Herd.
In the whirlpool room, is that right? Oh, what a tough
sauna.
Tough life.
ETSU with the ball and a one-point lead. Along with Jordy Holtberg, Dave Weekley reporting tonight from Johnson City, Tennessee. Southern Conference basketball. Glad you could be with us.
Good defensive pressure. East Tennessee having to start their offense from way back.
Pelfrey, strong to the goal, hits the floor hard.
No
John
harm.
Moore
No
clears the
foul.
board for the Herd.
Pelfrey getting floor burns everywhere on both ends of the floor. Good hustle.
He wants to check all that hardwood personally, up close and personal.
I know they play football in this building too, but they've got this hard surface on, but good hustle. That's why he's in there and delivers for them.
This is one of the most unique addresses for college basketball in the country. More on that in just a moment. Tyrone Phillips spins off the baseline and puts it home.
See, he can just manipulate so quickly down low, and just an explosive leaper. Pelfrey can't stay with him. They have to double down on him.
Niblett goes right by Brown for the jumper. Back iron, no good. Luke Gross the rebound for the Herd. Long outlet pass to Brown, and he'll put it up. Marshall crashing the boards, can't control it. East Tennessee State gets it back.
But up-tempo by both clubs, and Alan LaForce looking to his bench to get some more quickness into the lineup.
Inside, Patterson hangs it up there.
The officials are consistent on both ends. They're letting them play some contact, but no cheapies here tonight.
Justin McLean is checked in. Moore has his shot deflected.
Whoa. A little scrum. Thought it was rugby.
Sean Moore picks up the personal.
That was one of those, oh my gosh, I missed the shot, and now you compound things as he hung a little bit too much. What Dipsy do and got caught now. Comes over the back with the easy call, and Mr. Palmer's back in.
For Marshall, Harold Simmons, the senior from Houston, Texas, checks in, and Malik Hightower also in the game for the first time. Giselle Silvers.
That's pretty.
To Pelfrey.
Ought to get one of the 2 points off the assist. He's a slasher.
16-13, East Tennessee by 3. Phillips
gives it up, get it back.
Two-man game. Phillips loses the handle. And Palmer can't chase it down in front of the ETSU bench, and Marshall holds on to the basketball.
You see the Buccaneers' strategy. They're not fronting Phillips down low. They'll play behind it, but once he gets it, they will converge with 2 or 3, so he has to look for the skip pass opposite side for a spot up 3. Should be wide open.
Tyrone Phillips has been Marshall's leading scorer in their first 10 games. He's coming off a 31-point effort against Western Carolina on Sunday. Hightower the follow away. Short side rebound. Here comes ETSU. Palmer.
Not many turnovers in an up-tempo kind of game, so both teams handling it well. And those turnovers came early when both teams were kind of feeling each other out.
Malik Hightower whistled on the personal foul.
Very quiet, soft-spoken man, but when he gets on the floor, a little difference. Gets into it emotionally.
Silvers tried to feed it inside, and Stuff Lynch, who checked into the game for Marshall, makes the steal.
What a great name, Stuff.
Lynch puts up the air ball and then gets the ball back. Good hustle by Stuff Lynch.
And a nice spin by Hightower for three. Oh.
Luke Gross the offensive board.
Oh,
send it out by Patterson.
Send it out again.
Got a piece of it, and Pelfrey the rebound.
Numbers.
And now the crowd gets into the game for the first time. Silvers with a three on the way. Hightower got away with a push underneath and clears the board.
Patterson doing a job of enforcement down low for East Tennessee State. Got to fake them up, get them up in the air, and then initiate contact.
Simmons with a three on the way. Marshall ice cold from the field early on.
Oh, they missed that one. It went off the foot of Gross. No instant replay, but definitely off the foot.
12:48 to go first half, 16-13, East Tennessee by three.
Both teams not shooting the ball well at all, coming up dry, having open opportunities. The chance to really pull away from each other, but not happening.
And Luke Gross is whistled on the personal foul after Chazelle Silvers made the steal on the out-of-bounds play.
You know what they call that, right? That's the old makeup.
You said that. I promised myself I wouldn't get on him today. Alan LaForce trying to work in a new group of East Tennessee State Buccaneers. Palmer goes strong to the bucket, can't convert it. Gross comes out of the crowd with a basketball.
Somebody put the ball in the hole for me, please.
Glenn Staples called for the travel. So turnovers and missed opportunities, the story of this game early.
As I recall, we went to the commercial timeout at 16-13, and now we played another 3.5 minutes, and the score is 16-13.
Lynch knocks the ball away from Andy Pennington. No foul called on the play. Stuff Lynch averaging 2 steals a game. I think he got his average the first 10 seconds he was on the court tonight. Doesn't get any easier for Marshall this weekend. They will host league-leading Georgia Southern on Saturday afternoon at the Henderson Center. Then a Sunday afternoon tilt with the Citadel Bulldogs.
Boy, the defensive effort by both clubs, very evident.
Palmer, the runner off glass that goes. East Tennessee State with their biggest lead at 5 points. It's 18-13. And Silver steps into the passing lane, makes the steal, but then Harold Simmons gets the ball right back for the green and white of the Thundering Herd. Hightower puts it home.
Nice pass inside, and Hightower, another explosive leaper.
No question about it. Marshall can put some athletes out on the floor.
Gamble too much.
Count it. Three-pointer for Andy Pennington.
Pennington's a good outside shooter. You can't gamble. He's not going to take the ball on the dribble to the basket. Keep him between you and the basket.
Pennington, a true freshman. He averaged 28 points a game as a senior in high school at Madisonville High in East Tennessee. Pennington all over Lynch. Simmons. Short side, no good.
Nice block out and go.
Jones with the rebound, ahead to Pennington. Slapped away by Lynch and Glenn Staples.
Boy, this is racehorse basketball, up and down the floor.
Now Marshall on the move. Hightower is open for a three.
Foot on the line.
Gross puts it home on the offensive board.
Big inside. When Patterson goes out for East Tennessee State, Gross takes control down low.
A host of players will check in at the next stoppage.
The tempo is furious. They've got to get some rest.
Silvers misses. Simmons into the front court.
He's wide open again.
Hightower's got lots of room to operate. Can't get it down, but he'll go to the free throw line.
He hung in the air just for that extra split half of a second, and that's why Silvers came in on the elbow for the foul.
Malik Hightower's got a great vertical leap. He was a dunk champion his senior year in high school in the Pittsburgh area. a prize recruit for Dwight Freeman.
And it shows he can really elevate in a hurry and stay up in the air.
Averaging just under 11 points per game for the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Not so concerned with starting, still gets plenty of playing time, 26 minutes. And what's impressive to me is not one player for Marshall gets over 30 minutes a game in playing time. So Coach Freeman really spreads it out, which means people want to practice harder because they know they're going to play. It lends for a lot of cohesiveness, and that's why this team has won 7 games already, where last year they only won 7 all year long.
Hightower, an 89% free throw shooter, drains a pair. Marshall pulls to within a bucket at East Tennessee State. Back in a moment. Jordy, with both teams having a lot of problems shooting from the field, offensive rebounding has become doubly important.
Watch Silvers, number 21, doesn't block out. Gross just comes inside the big burly body and takes it right back up off the glass. You must check out, put a body on the other player's body, screen out, and then go get it.
Luke Gross, the senior, a transfer from Indiana State. He's got 6 early points. East Tennessee State winning the battle of the boards early, and check those field goal percentages. East Tennessee State at over 50%, but Marshall less than 40.
And to be only down by 2, you have to say, okay, thank you. Another turnover. Another turnover.
Wow, and here comes Harold Simmons for Marshall.
Who wants this thing?
Phillips, look out, whoa.
Wow, get it up and bring it down in a hurry. Excellent pass. Give Phillips credit for running down the floor.
We're tied at the 10-minute mark at 21.
Boy, did he thread the needle of that pass or what? Absolutely picture perfect. And Phillips,
he knew what to do with it.
Down in a hurry.
Harold Simmons whistled for the personal foul. And Jason Niblett will head to the free throw line.
So you got to be crazy to be a coach. You never smile. You're always frustrated.
They have had plenty of success here in Johnson City at East Tennessee State.
Pete, Mr. Jennings, then Jason Niblett, then Palmer. What is this deal with all these small, ultra-quick guards? It's amazing. It's like a tradition.
Boy, they had some players here last year. Greg Dennis, the all-time leading scorer from Charleston, West Virginia, now playing ball in Greece. Calvin Talford, who won the NCAA Slam Dunk competition at the Final Four last year, playing over in Vienna.
He's just a source of knowledge and information. Watch him wheel and deal.
Phillips back outside to Simmons. 2-man game now. Nice catch by Phillips. That'll be the 6th team foul on East Tennessee State in the first half.
He causes such a problem down low because he's not that big, but he's so quick. Now, you have to guard him with someone as quick as you can possibly find. He just goes up and gets it, and he can shoot over you. And Pelfrey is a serious mismatch down low against him.
Phillips drains the first of 2.
So if you put someone big and tall on him, he's too quick for you. You put someone small on him, he explodes over them. So he really causes all kind of problems. And how did they get him from Los Angeles, California to Huntington, West Virginia?
It's a good move.
UCLA and USC are going, why did we mess this guy?
Both teams could have used him this season. And now Sean Brailsford commits the personal foul away from the ball, knocking Tony Patterson to the hardwood.
We're going to start keeping stats on bodies on the ground.
We've seen a lot in the first 10 minutes.
There's more to that than made field goals.
Chris Morrow makes his first appearance as a member of the Marshall Thundering Herd. A Huntington native, he began his basketball career at Alderson Broadus, transferred, sat out a year, missed the first semester with grade troubles, and now he's in the lineup for the very first time. He is number 34.
Into the fire in a hurry. 24-23, ETSU up by 1 with 9:29 to go, so lots of players seeing action as usual.
Bucks in the bonus. Patterson misses the second.
Excellent block out, 4 going to the boards.
Sean Brailsford also returns for Marshall. Frank Martin lets fly the 3, too strong. Justin McClellan, the rebound for East Tennessee State.
That shot came after 1 pass, awfully hurried. I don't think Coach Freeman wants that. Wants to work a little bit more.
East Tennessee State has led by as many as 5. Silvers goes strong to the bucket.
Overpassed.
Tries to dish it off to Patterson. Really should have taken it up himself.
Had the shot, Coach LaForce getting on him saying, put the ball up. Unselfish is one thing, but that time he should have taken it to the basket and shot it.
Chris Morrow to Phillips, baseline, no good. Brailsford can't control the rebound, and wow, what a mismatch. Brailsford going up against tiny Eric Palmer. East Tennessee State still trying to find their offensive balance with actually 2 point guards on the court in Niblett and Palmer. Niblett running the point now.
Wow, a bullet.
Tried to feed it inside to Patterson. Morrow came up with a steal from Marshall.
Too much zip on that one. Good hustle. Another floor burn. They're everywhere.
Boy, Trezell Silver is very aggressive defensively and really seems to know how to step into the passing lane.
You've got to protect the basketball, and you can't telegraph. You can't keep looking. It's just like the quarterback. If he keeps looking at a receiver and then throws it, it's going to get picked off. Same thing here. All these players ultra quick, and the anticipation right up top. Simmons ought to go down low, force Palmer to try and guard him down in the bucket.
Simmons with a three. Can't get the shooter's roll.
Another floor burn. The iron unkind.
And Patterson is pushed. Patterson rather pushes Sean Brailsford.
You think these teams want it? Shot goes up from three-point land. Now watch the battle under the boards. Comes out. Bodies getting after it. Patterson inside position. The scrum, the push. And we go the other way.
Oh, I believe they reversed the call.
Another shot, another angle from a different side. The corner look. Patterson, there's a foul there, and then there's the push there. The lesser of two evils. Patterson will go to the line.
One referee had it one way, the other way, and where we're located in Johnson City, but I promised myself I wouldn't talk about the referees tonight.
Well, you just did,
I
so
know
you
it.
broke your promise.
Tony Patterson back at the free throw line.
He did get fouled first.
On the one
and then
one.
he definitely fouled later, but
No
normally they call the second foul and let the first one go, but not this time.
Patterson, just a 56% free throw shooter, misses. And here comes Marshall with the ball down by just a point, 24-23, 8 minutes to go first half. Brailsford turns. Patterson's on him like a blanket. Martin for three.
Boy,
got it. And
pretty.
Marshall's got their second lead of the game. Marshall led the game 2-0.
Looked like the old Globetrotter shuffle out front, and nice movement with and without the basketball.
Niblett to Palmer. A big shot for a guy who's only 5'6", Eric Palmer with the three ball.
Now that is a two-man game against Kansas and Purdue, two of the better teams in the country. These two guys averaged 18 points a game apiece. So you know they can lift their game to a higher level. They must do that in this conference.
7:39 to go in the first half. East Tennessee State 27, Marshall 26. With you.
Watch the pinpoint precision pass. Zip and take me home. Country Road. Phillips with a finish.
Tyrone Phillips leading all scorers at this point with 8 points tonight, averaging 24 per game on the season.
The pass almost as pretty as the dunk, and one does not go without the other.
No, it doesn't. Marshall at 7-3. Marshall only won 7 games all of last season, so they've really made a big turnaround, at least early.
It's time for a contract extension. It's time to go into the boss and say, look what I've done, let's go.
Morrow. And Pennington sends it out, but Morrow's going to the free throw line. Nice, strong move by Chris Morrow.
I'll tell you what, Patterson lets you know he is there, because you take it inside to the land of the Giants. He quickly recovers as he comes with the help defense, and watch him elevate and send it back.
Patterson had the nice block, but Trezell Silver's got him with the body.
ETSU only 50% from the line for Vaton. Marshall trying to increase on 77%, but it's going downward.
Morrow too strong on the first attempt. East Tennessee State is not a particularly good free throw shooting team.
And he says, my fault.
Which would surprise me with guys like Palmer and Niblett and Pelfrey doing most of the shooting. Morrow misses the pair, but he gets the rebound. Frank Martin feed to Ty
Oh,
Phillips
yeah.
off the glass and good. Phillips in double figures now at 10.
Ultra quick. I tell you what, as the year goes on, people around this country are going to start recognizing Tyrone Phillips.
Phillips
What a leaper.
with the board. Pelfrey with an ill-advised three-pointer in traffic, and here comes the Herd with a chance to build on their one-point lead.
Now, Phillips can prove to me he can shoot it from outside. We've got an NBA-type player on our hands.
Luke Gross tomorrow.
Wide open.
Can't get it, but Luke Gross battling. Nearly swallowed up Niblett, but here comes Jason on the move, and he's fouled by Frank Martin right in front of our broadcast location.
You see, if you're guarding a guy like Niblett or Palmer, and he gets a head start dribble, you might as well not try and come up and challenge. You might as well put it in reverse and get back and protect the hole, because he's going to blow past you, and all that will do is alleviate committing silly fouls.
But Jordy, it's tough to tell a guy like Frank Martin that, because he feels he's faster than anybody on this court.
Well, I tell you what, I had to see it to believe it.
Good minutes in the first half for Tony Patterson. He gets a well-deserved rest, and Robert Spears, a junior from Big Stone Gap, Virginia, checks in.
Sounds like Stuff ought to go to live in that area of the world. Stuff, Big Stump, you know, it just kind of mixes in, goes well together.
Stuff Lynch from Oak Hill, West Virginia.
See, that doesn't fit. That's too prim and proper of a name, you see, of a city. Stuff, Stump, it just kind of blends.
And Niblett checks out, and Andy Pennington back in.
Full court pressure, token, nothing too intense.
ETSU back in front by a point. Tink Brown.
Another floor burn by Pelfrey.
And the turnover as they take it off Tink Brown, and East Tennessee State's got the ball back. Lots of turnovers here in the first half.
Brown has to learn to protect the basketball. That time he put it right in front of Pennington, and Pennington said, thank you very much. Then Pelfrey, quick to the ball, knocked it off of a Marshall player, and we go the other way.
Spears. And Tink Brown says turnabout is fair play. Slaps the ball off Pennington, and Marshall's got it back.
Boy, the quickness factor is incredible.
Morrow looks inside.
These are two of the classier teams in this conference.
Phillips in the paint, can't get it down. Gross tries to keep it alive, and Pelfrey clears the boards for the Bucks. Pelfrey on the move, short side rebound by Tink Brown. Both these teams want to run at every opportunity. Martin for three, missed everything. Rebound Pelfrey.
Look up, there it is, the Snowbird.
Palmer.
Well, you must always have someone back to defend. At that time, too many Marshall players went to the board, and Palmer snuck out, and a nice recognition from Pelfrey.
He nearly had another steal. Morrow inside to Gross. Tink Brown thinks about a three. Air ball off the glass.
Bad shot. Crossover, he's gone. Count it.
No.
Oh, no NBA style, huh?
A continuation in the NBA would have counted the basket, but they'll call the foul on Frank Martin before the shot.
See, I think Marshall, when they get the ball inside to Gross, has to start taking the ball to the basket. Now watch the lightning quick move. A crossover dribble coming up. Zip. Gone to the hole. I say count it. Come on, give us a break. Offensive oriented, count it, but they said no before the foul, which is the right call. But Palmer, so quick.
Eric Palmer, 5'6". They list him at 150, but I don't think that's even close. A senior from Bowling Springs, South Carolina.
Told me to tell his mom and dad hello for him. So, Eric, we did.
1 of 2 for Palmer. 32-28. ETSU with a 4-point lead. 5 minutes to go first half.
Too many shots for Marshall coming from the exterior. They got to get it down low and work it down low and take it to the basket.
Another uncharacteristic turnover for Tink Brown. Pennington loses the hand. Then the nice look-away pass to Pelfrey. And Luke Gross, who's had a big first half for Marshall, gets the rebound.
Well, Pelfrey made a more difficult
long
shot.
pass to Moore.
Thank you very much. So each team gets one gimme. Every other shot's been hard-earned.
You know, in a building this big, Depth of field is very tough for the outside shooters. It's a very difficult place to shoot the ball. Lots of space in this building. Pelfrey in traffic can't get it down. Gross, another board. Marshall's got the numbers if they want to push it.
Well, Pelfrey's all show, but no dough. This is dough right here in the bucket. Counted Moore again.
So back-to-back buckets by Sean Moore, and Marshall's tied the game at 32. 4:15 to go first half. Pennington for three.
Knuckleball. You see that?
Yeah, not a very good rotation. Pelfrey has the ball stolen by Stuff Lynch.
Stuff with the steal.
Jake Brown misses the three.
So they've got to get the ball inside.
Chased down by McClellan. Ahead to Pennington.
Oh, what a move.
Palmer in traffic to McClellan. Gross will be whistled on the personal foul.
Back and forth, up-tempo, both clubs getting after it. They'll deserve a well-needed rest at halftime.
Justin McClellan goes to the free throw line. Cleve Edwards, Marshall assistant, with a word for Tink Brown, and Eric Palmer takes a rest on the ETSU bench.
Jason Niblett comes back in the ballgame. Niblett's had a stomach virus last week, lost about 11 or 12 pounds, and here's a guy not very bulky in the first place, and now he's lost 11, so the stamina factor plays into it. That's why he's resting a bunch.
McClellan with a pair. And East Tennessee State with a 2-point lead. 3:45 to go first half. Buccaneers by a bucket over Marshall. And while we've got a moment, we want to remind you that the announcers for this game have been contracted for and approved by Marshall University. Any use, rebroadcast, or other transmission of this game without the written consent of Marshall University and Creative Production Services is prohibited. Jordy, pay attention to that.
Okay, what is that? What is that?
That's a Buccaneer mascot that got too close to the toxic waste dump. 3:45 to go first half. Bucks by a bucket.
You're brutal. You are brutal.
Full court pressure by East Tennessee State.
Gross coming back to rescue.
Gross had a good first half.
I still think they have to work it down to him, and instead of passing it out, get it up, because that might improve your field goal percentage shooting. Stuff
Lynch. Whoa, send it out. Silvers with the big block. Pelfrey goes baseline.
Boy, it's tough with the dribble.
Boy, no place for the timid underneath the basket. Sean Moore clears the board for Marshall. Long pass, Harold Simmons to Stuff Lynch. Sean Moore's feeling it.
Boy, you know, 4 of 20 in 3 Southern Conference games, and all of a sudden he's hit 3 straight, 2 on gimmies, and 1 with a pull-up jumper, so the eye is back.
Marshall's tied the game again. Pennington, the pull-up pop.
That time he had a little spin on, a little rotation, and followed through.
He's got a very nice stroke for a freshman. Andy Pennington. ETSU with a 2-point lead inside of 3 minutes to go first half.
Phillips has been very quiet.
Oh, they're going to call Stuff Lynch pushing off
with the NBA hook as he tried to advance to the basket. And Stuff going the other way.
Tony Patterson comes back in, and Robert Spears gets a rest. Pennington looks inside. Marshall in his zone now. Yes. 2-3.
First time we've seen it all night.
Long pass.
That should take away dribble penetration. Nice give and go.
Touch pass, Pelfrey to Patterson for 2.
Boy, nice movement away from the basketball coming from behind the zone. Pelfrey with the quick catch and kick inside. That was pretty.
Sean Moore fouled by Jerry Pelfrey, and so Sean Moore, who's had a very nice offensive first half, heads to the free throw line. Sean Moore sat out last season with some grade troubles and has really made an impact on the Marshall basketball team this year, inserted into the starting lineup.
This team has so much more confidence than a year ago. It's amazing what a win or two will do. The Tennessee-Chattanooga win, an upset by 1, really picked this team up and elevated and said, hey, we can play against people. As evidence, by the way they're playing in this first half. Only down by 4 and shooting the ball very, very poorly.
Yeah, that East Tennessee, that UTC victory by Marshall on Saturday, probably one of the biggest wins ever for Dwight Freeman. And the difference between last year and this season, one big difference, talent. The addition of Sean Moore and Tink Brown and Stuff Lynch, Chris Morrow.
A coach has to have players. He can only do so much. He can't go out there and put it in the hole for you.
Dwight Freeman's got a lot more bullets in the gun this year.
Get the zone. It's back belly button to belly button, man to man.
East Tennessee State, 3-point lead. Inside of 2 minutes to go from the Memorial Center in Johnson City. Nice block by Stuff Lynch.
Numbers.
3-on-2. Lynch leads the break to Phillips. Look out.
Oh, explosive and good recognition. Lynch giving it to the scorer who delivered.
Ty Phillips averaging 24 points a game. He's right on course with a dozen points in the first half.
Hands everywhere. Another rip.
Sean Moore just takes it right away from Patterson. And look, Harold Simmons coming up the court with the head up, always looking to make that long pass.
Chance to take the lead with 1:25 to go.
Gross looks inside, back up top to Phillips. Moore nearly had it knocked
You
away.
have to be quick, but you can't hurry. You have to be under control.
20 on the shot clock. Simmons, back iron, no good. Rebound, Phil Poe, who's checked into the game for East Tennessee. Pennington for 3.
A spot-up shooter, and Niblett with the penetration made the defense collapse, and Pennington spotted up and drained it.
Pennington now with 8 points for East Tennessee State. Inside of a minute, Phillips, blocked by Patterson. Phillips, the wraparound, no good. Gross the offensive rebound. Loose ball picked up by Pennington. Shot clock is off.
They'll
East
hold
Tennessee State can hold it for 1.
They'll hold it for the last shot. And with Pennington hot as he is, look for dribble penetration by Niblett.
And the Buccaneer fans here at the Memorial Center in Johnson City come to their feet as the clock ticks down to the end of the first half. It's a clear out for Niblett. No good. Niblett, the offensive board. Can't get it down. Rebound, Gross.
You got time.
Simmons lets it fly.
Let it go too soon.
And that is going to do it for the first half. East Tennessee State's biggest lead of the first 20 minutes, 5 points. And Dwight Freeman and the Marshall Thundering Herd head back to the locker room to talk things over. Down 4. East Tennessee State 41, Marshall 37. We'll be back with our halftime activities from the Memorial Center in Johnson City in just a moment. (41-37), East Tennessee State leading the Marshall Thundering Herd. We're set to begin the second half of basketball. But first, Jordy, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the statistics from the first half of play.
East Tennessee State down to 46%. Marshall only to be down by 4 with shooting 35%. Got to be happy about that. Being outshot, but they're taking more shots at the basket. The difference, East Tennessee State 3 of 6 from three-point land. Marshall only 1 of 7. So obviously, it's the inside game of Marshall against the outside game of East Tennessee State.
And
first 4 minutes will be so important. Boards, East Tennessee State getting the job done there, +8. Turnovers, Marshall creating 6 more. Three-point shooting, you see it. Block shots, East Tennessee State 4-1. So the first 4 minutes will be very key in a ball game like this. Marshall cannot sit back and wait. They have to make it happen now because it could go down to the wire.
Marshall just 1 of 7 from outside the arc. On Saturday, when Marshall upset UTC in Huntington, they committed only 7 turnovers in the entire game. They're green and white with 10 already. And we've still got 20 minutes to go.
First time you see a zone from the Buccaneers.
Kind of a surprise.
And that's to try and negate Phillips down low where they can double team him, force the outside shot. So you must step into open gaps, skip passes like that, and then look low.
Phillips skips it out to Martin, who thinks about it, and shoots it off the glass. Frank Martin with the bucket.
Excellent execution. Here's a gimme.
Martin with 9. Trezell Silvers answers for East Tennessee State. You got to get back.
In a hurry. We talked about it earlier, the transition from offense to defense. You can't pat yourself on the back after you make a bucket. You got to sprint down the floor. Straight 2-3.
Sean Moore took his eye off the basketball, and it sails right to the Marshall bench.
Turnover number 11. Cannot be happy if you're Mr. Freeman. Now you have to make up for it on the defensive end. Little half-court trap.
Pelfrey looks inside.
Straight man-to-man.
Silvers all the way to the bucket. Nobody had him.
Total miscommunication. Marshall needs a timeout. They've come out flat in the second half.
Tyrone Phillips and Luke Gross looking at each other. Neither one had Silvers, and so Marshall calls a quick timeout. 19:02 left to go in the game. East Tennessee State with its largest lead at 6 points.
Marshall will have the basketball against full court pressure. East Tennessee State trying to go for the jugular now. Marshall really has to maintain composure, execute on the offensive end, and not turn it over.
Let's see how Marshall does. They break the press easily. Martin, the pass to Sean Moore, who missed the jam.
See, that's a turnover. You got to finish off of plays like that. Got to finish. He's shaking his head. He can't believe it. This is the big leagues. You got to put the ball down in the hole when you're open like that.
45-39, East Tennessee State with their biggest lead, a 6-point edge, trying to build on it. Luke Gross taps the ball away from Niblett. Are you kidding me? And then Gross goes flying as Niblett chases it down. Palmer for three. Short side, no good. Gross with the board.
Everywhere, gets jabbed in the eye. But he's providing a spark, hustling, getting on the boards.
I think Luke Gross wants to stay in the game if he can. He's saying, don't take me out. I'm having one of my better games.
He's going to have to make a decision real quick. After causing havoc in the backcourt, he comes back, maintains his position down low, goes up strong, gets it, and
Silvers.
Bingo, right there. Finger to the eye, that hurts, accidental.
East Tennessee State.
Good penetration.
In the zone, Tink Brown splits it and sinks the bucket. Marshall needed that badly.
Transition, oh, that's a charge.
And on a non-call, Marshall gets the basketball back.
Good position defense, and now a chance for Marshall to cut it back. They trailed by 4 at half. Now they still trail by 4. Big possession early. Now it's back to man-to-man. Phillips ought to go back down low again. Uh-oh. Too quick.
Here comes Palmer.
Is he going to jam it? No.
47-41, East Tennessee by 6.
Well, that would have been a showstopper.
Oh, absolutely.
It's 5-6. He could have jammed it.
Frank Martin short with the 3 try. Sean Moore, nice board, puts it back up and in.
Now makes up for the missed layup, and now it's racehorse again.
Sean Moore with 10, and Palmer hits a 3.
Unconscious.
And Tink Brown went flying over the East Tennessee State bench, and now he's back on the court.
Nobody underneath the basket to rebound, but he still let it fly and in the hole.
East Tennessee State now their largest lead at 7 points.
Good double down, but too quick.
Tyrone Phillips with a baseline turnaround. He's got 14.
Oh, I tell you what, this is running rebel basketball here.
Silvers has his shot blocked by Tyrone Phillips. Phillips clears the board and then is fouled.
But as we said earlier, you don't want to keep harping on transition, but I'm talking about getting up and down the floor in a hurry. Look at this, one dribble, a pass, and the explosiveness to the basket, and here comes the nice block, and then the foul.
I believe that's Phillips' 3rd block of the game. Luke Gross carries it into the front court.
Literally.
Sean Moore puts it up, no good. Rebound Silvers.
And here we go.
Quickly into the front court for East Tennessee State. Boy, is he cat quick.
This is when East Tennessee State's at its best, when they have Palmer and Niblett in the backcourt at the same time. Boy, they really force the issue.
Pelfrey is fouled by Sean Moore as he goes to the bucket.
And Pelfrey, for being such a good outside shooter, has rarely taken an outside shot. He just puts his head down and charges through the tunnel.
Jordy, he went through a shooting slump, and I think Alan LaForce said, hey, don't depend on your jump shot. You got other skills. Drive to the basket.
He is taking him to heart because everything is put your head down and charge.
Malik Hightower checks into the lineup for Marshall. East Tennessee State right now has their starting lineup on the court. Silvers, Pelfrey, Jones, Palmer, and Niblett in the backcourt. Silvers goes by Peck, puts it up. Tough luck shot, no good.
Even though the ball goes out of bounds, Gross has done a nice job this evening for Marshall.
He's
really
been hustling.
battled, really gotten on the boards, and really, as you said, hustled all night long.
And give Darrell Jones credit, he kept it alive.
That's interesting. Morris takes a seat. He's really played effectively, and it's diminished Hightower's minutes tonight.
Palmer for three, can't get it down. Loose ball out front, it's a race to see who can get it. Peck over the scores table. Boy, Michael Peck's everywhere. In the first half, he went flying over the East Tennessee State bench.
Give Darrell Jones a hustle award, because if he hadn't have deflected it out of bounds, Marshall had a gimme.
Marshall hoping to convert on this trip and cut the lead to 3. Play stopped momentarily as Tony Patterson checks into the lineup.
We talk about 4 minutes, right? We played almost 4 minutes of the second half, and East Tennessee State has extended its lead by 1. So Marshall still in there, has taken the crowd out of the ball game.
Frank Martin got a good look at a three-pointer but can't hit it. Silvers the rebound to Palmer.
Nice position defense by Simmons.
Niblett for 3, no good. Malik Hightower skies for the rebound. Lob inside, Peck controls it, has the ball slapped away.
Buccaneers, East Tennessee State really converged down low in a hurry. If you're going to make a move, you got to make it quickly to beat the double team or kick it back out.
Stuff Lynch into the lineup. Frank Martin takes a seat momentarily. Malik Hightower to Simmons. Gross battling inside with Patterson.
Give it to Gross. Give it to Gross down low. He's wide open.
Hightower with a good look. Gross and Lynch cancel each other out on the offensive board. Palmer, the lob, and Hightower slaps it away. Hightower and Giselle Silvers mix it up a bit. Silvers saw that as a great opportunity for a big Showtime slam, and Malik spoiled the party.
Upstairs we go. Niblett, Palmer, alley-oop. Both guys elevate. There's a deflection. Then come down to each other. There's a little forearm shrug, and then there's the pushback. A little respect, and quickly to get in. The official. No harm, no foul.
East Tennessee State by 5, 50-45. Buccaneers led it by 4 at the break. Marshall looking for their 3rd straight win. Came into play tonight 7-3, 2-1 in the league.
Change offensively for East Tennessee State. Much more movement. They spread the floor out, trying to cut their guards to the basket, and they pick up a foul.
East Tennessee State also 2-1 in league play, Jordy. 6-4 overall, but that's a bit deceiving. Their losses have come against the big boys, including Purdue, Michigan State, and they had a tough loss Sunday at Georgia Southern.
And you forgot Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by the way, those Rock Chalk Jayhawks.
And KU bolted out to a 23-0 lead in that game, and East Tennessee State made it very, very close. Lob inside.
Back pass.
3-on-2, 4-on-2 if they want to push it for Simmons. Hightower. Nice feed to Peck. He loses it out of bounds, and Marshall will retain possession. Nice wraparound pass by Malik Hightower.
Well, it was interesting to see how this man's team would bounce back after leading Georgia Southern by 11 and then falling down by 21, their worst loss since 1987 in this conference. And they've come out to play. Nothing like a little home cooking to help with the doldrums. Nice screen.
Hightower to the baseline. Jones does a nice job to seal it off for East Tennessee State.
Got to work the ball to Gross. Now, see, he turns. He's not a threat. He doesn't face the basket. You've got to become a threat on the floor.
Simmons with a 3. Short side, no good. McClellan throws the rebound away to Hightower. Back iron for Malik, no good. Tap by Michael Peck, no good. Pelfrey clears it for the Bucks. Peck got a piece of that 3 try by Niblett. Hightower with an open jump shot. Off the glass and good.
Gross has his hand up. He's exhausted. Has to come out. 3-point game right in it. And still not shooting the ball well, but it's hustle on the defensive end. It's basket, Marshall in it.
You get a sense that Marshall could move into the lead if they could just put a couple of jump shots together. Nice pass inside to Pelfrey. Niblett to Pelfrey. Nice give and go. And it's a 5-point lead again for the Bucks. Marshall shot just 38% in the first half, and the Thundering Herd not doing that much better in the second half from the field. Simmons takes Palmer to the baseline. No good. And Palmer, the smallest guy on the court, gets the rebound.
Well, that's pretty.
Palmer to Niblett for two.
The dynamic duo.
They're just like little basketball Pac-Men.
They find each other. They're ultra quick. They hide in the Valley of the Giants and get it done.
54-47, East Tennessee State matching their biggest lead at 7 points, and into the passing lane steps Eric Palmer. Can he beat Hightower the basket? Yes, he can.
Need a timeout, coach. You need a timeout. You've got to get Phillips back in the lineup.
Dwight Freeman had a television timeout coming at the 12-minute mark, but he wanted to burn one anyway with 12:53 to go in the second half. East Tennessee State 56, Marshall 47. Jordy, one of the keys to East Tennessee State's run early in the second half has been some outstanding passing.
It's a game of spurts, and you penetrate, good things happen. Pelfrey moves without the basketball, gets a gimme, and then the guard combination. Palmer to Niblett. The spurt from 5 to 9. Marshall on the fence now. This is a very, very crucial time for Coach Freeman's club, down 9 with 12:53 to go. Turnovers and bad shooting have really hurt. 38%, you can't win on the road with that kind of percentage.
Harold Simmons takes it to the goal and puts it in, and Marshall needed that basket very badly.
Now they need a defensive stop.
Sean Brailsford has checked into the game for Marshall.
Really extending their offense, spreading the floor, and that's a silly, silly foul by Simmons.
Harold Simmons commits the foul on Andy Pennington, who's back into the game for Allen LaForce and East Tennessee State. Both of these teams will be very busy this weekend. Marshall will host Georgia Southern on Saturday and the Citadel Sunday afternoon, while for East Tennessee State, Davidson comes to Johnson City on Saturday, and Sunday the Bucks host the Furman Paladins. Pelfrey nearly had it taken away. McClellan gets in the air and does a 360 and is able to get it back to Pelfrey.
Pretty. Beautiful.
Nice reverse.
The
Darrell
up
Jones.
and under on the skip pass from Pelfrey.
It's a 9-point lead again as we reach the 12-minute mark.
My question, where is Tyrone Phillips? Where has he been?
Palmer in the air, gets it to Pennington. And Marshall gets it back on the East Tennessee State turnover.
Unforced error. Pennington had the jumper. And Allen LaForce looks like Lou Holtz on the sidelines. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Well, I tell you what, if you're playing on the court for East Tennessee State and Eric Palmer and Jason Niblett are in the game, you better keep your head up.
It's nightmares. These guys from Marshall didn't get any sleep. Trying to keep up with these people. All right, make it happen.
Tyrone Phillips turns on McClellan. So spins it home.
He has to completely take over for Marshall. He's got to respect the basketball, claim it, and make it happen when he gets it.
Phillips now with 16 to lead all scores. Palmer streaks to the goal. McClellan can't save it. And Marshall down by 7 gets the basketball back. Chris Morrow checks into the lineup for Marshall, replacing Sean Brailsford.
Justin McClellan has to be ready. He's not. He's going to take a seat. Silver's back in because as you penetrate, you must go to the basket. McClellan hung outside.
McClellan takes a seat. Tony Patterson returns.
So now the depth factor for East Tennessee State coming into mind. They're playing a lot of people. Now Marshall must go with their primary people because they're trailing by 7 with 11:17 to go. There's no tomorrow. It's now or never.
58-51.
Got the mismatch down low with Phillips.
Oh.
Got to get him the basketball.
Tough luck shot for Frank Martin, but Malik Hightower gets the offensive board. Morrow, the dump to Ty Phillips. Can't score it. Phillips missed an easy one there. And Trezell Silvers gets the offensive board, and Ty Phillips commits the personal foul.
Well, the shot was there. He just hurried it. Good recognition of where your main man is. You got to get him the basketball. East Tennessee State, look like a little clock now since there's no fast break. Work a little clock and try and get it inside with the penetrating dribble by Niblett.
Here comes Jason Niblett from East Tennessee State. Silvers takes it right to the goal, can't get it.
Good tip by Patterson to keep it alive. Second chance opportunity.
Marshall in a man-to-man. They try to backdoor feed, and it's slapped away by Chris Morrow.
Tough angle in traffic. Not a very wise pass from your point guard.
Morrow on the baseline. Feeds it cross court to Hightower. And finally, Marshall makes a jump shot. Malik Hightower drains one. It's 58-53.
The inside to outside play. Hightower stepped up and hit it. Back in it, only down 5.
Closing in on the 10-minute mark. East Tennessee State by 5. And we've got an offensive foul inside. I believe they've whistled it on Jerry Pelfrey. So Marshall, down 9 just a moment ago, could cut it to 3 with a conversion here on this trip.
Withstood the storm early. Didn't panic. Found their primary players, their leading scorers, and they've recognized it. Hightower and Phillips. Now it's time to be patient. Get a good shot at the bucket with no turnovers. There he is. Get it to him. Got a man on his back. Get it to him.
Phillips.
Count it.
Oh. Would have counted. And now Tyrone Phillips will go to the line and try to add to his point total.
See, Pelfrey has to make a decision. He's getting beaten up like a drum down low, playing behind Phillips. So he's got to either three-quarter or force him back to the middle, because all Phillips wants to do is fake in and go baseline, and he extends over. There's the foul. Make Phillips try and do something differently. Force him to go to the middle of the lane where your help defense is.
Justin McClellan comes back into the game, replacing Jerry Pelfrey.
Oh, that's crucial. You've got to start hitting free throws. Marshall was 8 of 13 in the first half. That's not a good enough percentage. Got to be up higher than that. And well below his average.
Phillips misses a pair and does not look good doing it. Trezell Silvers the rebound for the Bucks. And here they go. Nice long pass. Patterson unable to save it. And that's not the pass Alan LaForce wants in this situation.
Now that's a pass you throw to Silvers or you throw to Palmer, but you don't throw it to your big fella running down the floor. You know, you have to wait till he lines up on the block and gets set.
So after Marshall's main man misses a pair at the free throw line, East Tennessee State throws it away, and the Thundering Herd have another chance to cut it to 3. Phillips.
There's your help as he forced him back to the middle. So good defensive play by McClellan as he finally made Phillips do something out of the norm.
And the possession arrow points the way of the Bucks. Darrell Jones checks in for Patterson.
So both clubs coming up empty on the last 3 or 4 possessions.
Justin McClellan.
Touchdown.
Nice defense by Hightower. Silvers with the jump hook gets it to go.
Shooter's roll. Hometown rims.
Silvers now with 6 points. It's a 7-point lead.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Phillips was getting mugged down low by McClellan, and that time they called the second foul as Phillips tried to push to get position, but he's being absolutely mugged. There's a reach around, there's a reach around. Finally, they called the second foul, and Phillips has the right to object to that one.
Luke Gross checks in. Malik Hightower comes out.
If looks could kill, huh?
Oh, brother. As usual, they get the second foul. They never call the first foul. They get the second foul. Inside of 9 minutes to go. McClellan trying to make a move on Chris Morrow. Boy,
Really
Silvers wants to get
spread.
to the paint. Jones off the baseline. No good. Harold Simmons has got the rebound. Long pass ahead to Morrow. Goes up strong, draws the foul. He goes to the line for 2.
A semi-mini break. And Morrow running the floor. Got it. Took it strong to the basket. As he calls for it, nice recognition. Simmons up the floor, and Morrow hangs, leans, takes the contact, and now, after getting Silvers in the jaw, Morrow has to answer with the freebie.
Joselle Silvers, 3 fouls. He'll take a seat. And Chris Morrow will try to get his first points as a member of the Marshall Thundering Herd.
0 for 2 in the first half at the free throw line now. Very big opportunity. We're back to a 7-point spread. So every possession becomes very important with only 8:36 to go. You don't want turnovers. You want shots at the basket. When you get free throws, you have to make them. Now, you hit the first one. Normally means the second is automatic.
It's a big confidence builder for Morrow.
Silvers was the new rule in the NCAA. You draw blood, you have to come out of the ball game. There was blood on his jersey. He was number 21. He changed jerseys. He's now number 23. And somebody on East Tennessee State doesn't have a jersey anymore.
Morrow, air ball. Hey, Jordy, what were you saying about that second free throw?
That was ugly early and late. Oh, and he got the crowd into it. My goodness.
60-54. East Tennessee State leads by 6. They've got the ball. Niblett.
Send it back.
Wow. Nowhere to go for Jason Niblett. Here comes Marshall with a chance to cut it to 4.
Poise and patience.
Phillips has it up top.
That's not where he wants it. He wants to go down low. Now make something. Turn to the basket. Be a threat.
Gross to Frank Martin. Can't get it down. I count 4 bodies on the floor. Pelfrey, the long pass. Whoa. Too tall for Jason Niblett.
Just sloppy basketball on both ends of the floor. Both coaches upset. Both coaches want to slow it down, slow it down.
We've got a TV timeout, 7:59 to go in the game. East Tennessee State 60, Marshall 54. We're heading down the stretch.
Beautiful part of the world.
Really
Rolling
is.
hills, gorgeous, and the fans, they love hoops in this part of the world, and boy, they've had so much success here.
The terrain here very similar to that of West Virginia. Inside of 8 minutes to go, 60-54. Marshall trying to cut into the Buccaneers' 6-point lead.
Down from New Orleans, flat land, crawfish, Bourbon Street.
Frank Martin shoots up an air ball. And this time Marshall keeps possession as the arrow points the Herd's way.
There's the possession arrow. Alan LaForce trying to calm his team down, trying to be a steady influence as both clubs are a little helter-skelter, a little bit too wild for any coach's comfort.
Frank Martin, the trigger man on the out-of-bounds play. Ty Phillips gets it up quickly. Short side, no good. McClellan, the rebound for East Tennessee.
Boy, he's just not living up to his numbers tonight.
Big trip for East Tennessee State. Jones. Palmer thought about a 3.
Notice working a little bit more clock this possession. Oh, he traveled.
Luke Gross flashed down to the baseline. Jones wasn't expecting that, and he takes a travel. So once again, here we go. Marshall with a chance to cut into the lead.
I still think Gross has an opportunity to make something happen down low. If they'll get it to him, and he'll look to shoot. Not up there, though.
Gross loses the handle. Fighting for the basketball. And Gross will be whistled on the personal.
See, I don't understand why a big fella like that comes 20 feet away from the basket. Stick him down low where he belongs. Let your ball handlers come outside and handle it. There's too much quickness. There's too much pressure in this ball game, as Gross will hustle, but, you know, you got to turn. You got to catch the basketball off his knee, and here he goes. Fumble! Wow, I mean, what do you call? I mean, gee whiz.
Gross now with 3 personal fouls. Boy, Luke Gross has been on the floor all night long, literally. McClellan goes to the basket strong. Silvers now wearing 23, misses,
and
then gets the stick back.
The pickpocket.
8-point lead. McClellan trying to keep Tyrone Phillips out of the paint is whistled for the personal.
Silver's really down on the other end, wearing number 23 now because of the jersey change. Just picked the pocket of Marshall and stuck it back in the hole. See, number 23, new rule. If there's any kind of blood, you must change jerseys.
The officials have really let these two teams play in the second half. Both teams with just 5 team fouls as we close in on the 6.5-minute mark.
Get out of here!
Gross misses, but Tyrone Phillips the follow. Phillips now with 18.
Well, that was a big bucket. Cut it to 6 as we come down to cases. 6:20 to go.
McClellan guarded by Gross.
This is a screen across, screen down offense.
Palmer. Deadly with the three-pointer.
You know, he was out here at about a couple of hours before the ball game started, working out for an hour as our crew set up. Then he came back out again. He's been out here all day.
9-point lead now for East Tennessee State.
Taking the Larry Bird syndrome. Shoot till you drop.
Tyrone Phillips is going back to the free throw line. Alan LaForce, an assistant to Les Robinson here at East Tennessee State. And when Robinson moved downtown to Tobacco Road to take over at NC State, he was elevated to the head coaching job, and he's done a good job.
16 foul by East Tennessee State, so the next foul by them will be 1-and-1 time for Marshall. There's your scoring leaders. Phillips, 18, has a chance to get his average, which is 24.
Phillips inside. He'll go back to the free throw line.
We'll get a two-shot opportunity. Now every foul after this will be a 1-and-1, so Marshall gets to the line more than East Tennessee State.
Boy, you know, if you're East Tennessee State, you just can't let Phillips have the ball this close to the basket. It's either a hoop or a foul.
You've got to get in front of him, force him away from the bucket. Goes up with his other hand. And now, last time he was 0 for 2 at the free throw line. Let's see what the leader of this club can do in the clutch. Netsville.
Jones returns. And Justin McClellan will take a seat on the Bucks bench. Phillips looking for his 20th point of the night.
Pulled away from it. Good rebound.
Peck puts it home.
Boy, that was big.
It's a 6-point game again, 65-59, 5.5 to go.
Kind of hanging around, not giving it up. Good help and recover.
Palmer lets fly for another three. He's feeling it now.
He's been deadly. He's been the nail in the side of Marshall tonight.
Palmer's
outside and inside.
Palmer with 21 to lead all scores. It's a 9-point game again. And now Marshall goes to their main man. Phillips skies and puts it home. That's an easy shot for Ty Phillips.
If they continue to play backside and let him catch it down low, all he has to do is turn, elevate, and shoot over the top.
And Alan LaForce is frustrated with the defense. They're playing on Tyrone Phillips. He wants to talk about it. We'll step aside for a break. Bucks 68, Marshall 61. For East Tennessee State, some of the biggest shots of the night have come from the smallest man on the court.
Eric Palmer spots up 3, says in your face. Another possession later, lines up in the corner. The dribble penetration, spot up, let it fly. Nothing but the bottom of the bucket, 2 threes. And Palmer, the smallest player on the court, has really hurt Marshall, up 7.
5 minutes to go in the game. East Tennessee State's got the ball. Niblett, Palmer, Pelfrey, Jones, and Silvers on the court for East Tennessee State.
Palmer's got to stop officiating and play basketball.
For Marshall, it's Morrow, Simmons, Peck, Phillips, and Martin. Silvers with the 3-point jumper. Nice, strong rebound by Chris Morrow. Long pass to Peck. Great catch.
Nice catch. A bailout. Another unforced error and the foul. Another possession for Marshall down the wayside. And with time running out, you just can't let it happen.
Michael Peck appears to have taken a shot to the head. He's going to stay in the game. 4.5 minutes to go. East Tennessee State by 7. Just 6 fouls on Marshall, team fouls in the second half. The next one will put the Bucks in the bonus.
Peck picked a pair of elbows. Ooh.
Pickled elbow. Jason Niblett now as the East Tennessee State guards starting to show their outside firepower. 9-point lead again.
2-3 zone to try and get Phillips out of the ball game.
Nice look-away pass by
wide
Morrow.
open.
Phillips off the baseline, cans it.
So he proved that he could extend his game and take it away from the 10-footer and nail about the 15-footer. So big bucket there.
Phillips with 23 to lead all scorers. It's a 7-point game. Marshall needs a defensive stand to strip down. Niblett loses the handle, and he's called for the travel, and he can't believe it.
All right, if you're Marshall, there comes an opportunity. The door is open. You're trailing by 7. A chance to get it and go. As he loses possession, we speed it up, and you tell me. I didn't see a travel because he didn't have possession when he was on the ground.
Back to live action. Frank Martin trying to make some room for himself, forces it up, but he gets the offensive rebound and picks up the foul as Jones bails him out, committing the personal. Frank Martin will go to the free throw line.
In that instance, there wasn't any movement without the basketball by Marshall. It was all one-on-one, and the other 4 players were spectators. Martin forced the shot, not the kind of shot you want at this stage of the ballgame, but he saved himself by getting after it and chasing it down. And now we talked about free throws being so important. Here's another opportunity. 1-and-1.
Frank Martin, nothing but net. He's into double figures. Marshall within 6.
See, the clock is stopped, and that's your enemy right now as you trail. So you take advantage of those situations, nail another one, get a good defensive series. Don't foul, play with your feet, and don't give up any easy buckets.
Frank Martin with a pair. Marshall down 5. That's as close as they have been in quite a while.
Simmons has to shadow Palmer all over the floor.
And Frank Martin is whistled on the personal, and Jason Niblett is the victim, and that is the 7th team foul on the Thundering Herd. So now the Buccaneers are in the 1-and-1.
Niblett caught a knee. He's trying to shake it off. He steps to the free throw line.
3:14 to go in the game.
See, Niblett can't hurt you 35 feet away from the bucket, so play off of it. You want to take away his penetration, make him give up the basketball rather than forcing the issue, and again, a foul that wasn't necessary.
Jason Niblett with a dozen points tonight. Rattles at home. That's a big free throw. 6-point lead now, 71-65. Marshall can't afford to trade baskets or free throws at this point.
Exactly right. The clock is their enemy as they trail by 6. 3:14 to go, and Niblett a perfect 5 for 5. Make it 6 for 6 from the charity stripe.
72-65. East Tennessee State by 7.
Back man-to-man. Notice Patterson is on Phillips. More size to try and take away the turnaround jumper.
Simmons can't get it to go. Peck missed the follow. Patterson slaps it outside to Niblett. And now look for East Tennessee State to milk the clock.
Yeah, they're pulling back the reins. The clock is the enemy, and they want to milk it for all it's worth. And with 2 great ball handlers like Palmer and Niblett, they can just spread the floor, play a 2-man game.
Palmer's shot is blocked by Peck.
Oh, my goodness.
Behind the back pass. Silvers can't get it down. Now Peck's got the rebound for Marshall, and East Tennessee State coach Alan LaForce did not want that shot.
Why take it in such a hurry? Take your time. Work the clock. Patterson with a good stick in.
Phillips double teamed, takes it to the goal, misses the reverse. Ball's on the floor. Peck puts it up and in.
Good hustle. Now you have to force the issue.
5-point game.
Full court pressure. 2:10 to go. You don't want to foul Niblett, but you certainly want to take a look at some other players.
Silvers into the front court. Inside of 2 minutes, pass to Pelfrey. He is hammered. And he'll go to the free throw line.
Why are they looking to score in such a hurry? They can take all the time they want off the clock. I'd get the ball in Niblett or Palmer's hands and send the other guys and put them in the other hemisphere. Send them to South Carolina, anywhere. But here comes the reach, and Pelfrey, pull it out. Boy, does he pay for play.
really hammered. East Tennessee State ran only 12 seconds off on that possession. Pelfrey went to the basket with 33 ticks still left on the 45-second shot clock.
You're playing into Marshall's hands because Marshall wants to stop the clock. They can't win without the basketball. And Peck fouls out with only 4 points. Took a couple of shots to the head. Did a nice job of hustling, but not enough.
Now Beckley, West Virginia's Glenn Staples, checks into the lineup, replacing Peck. 1:58 to go. East Tennessee State 72, Marshall 67.
Still an eternity of time. This is a quick-paced game. Shots can come in a hurry.
Wow.
Used it all.
Missed the second one. 6-point game, so really Marshall can tie the game with a pair of threes.
Martin's been your best outside shooter. Nice pass.
Phillips, no good. Morrow the follow. Try it again, puts it up and in. 4-point game. That's as close as Marshall's been since the beginning of the second half.
Simple game. East Tennessee State keep it in the hands of Niblett. Marshall make him give it up and foul.
Down to 90 seconds. Silvers nearly lost it, nearly carried it. Gets it off to Palmer. Boy, is he tough to get a hold of.
They're so quick. You've got to foul when they get the ball out of their hands. You got to foul this man. You have to foul.
Shot clock down to 20 seconds. Pelfrey to Patterson. Tough shot. And he'll go to the free throw line with 1:14 to go.
The shot clock's down to 18. You had a chance to foul when there was 40 seconds left on the shot clock. So my goodness, they let time off the clock, and Pelfrey penetrates, kicks it out, and Patterson takes it to the hoop. And there's the foul. Tough shot.
Yeah, it would have been a very tough shot.
Basically let him go.
Patterson, just a 56% free throw shooter, makes the first. It's a 5-point game.
Can't trade buckets. Got to get it and go.
Marshall down 5 with a chance to cut it to 3 or 2 with a three-pointer, and Martin lines up that 3, can't get it.
Look up floor, it's a snowbird. He's going to hold on to it.
Foul by Frank Martin in the backcourt, and now Jason Niblett will go back to the free throw line. That was a big trip for Marshall.
Niblett 6 of 6 from the charity stripe. Martin thought he had it, spotted up. It was a good shot. He was open trying to get a 3. Just came out short.
That three-point accuracy has really not been there for Frank Martin this season, and Dwight Freeman's at a loss to understand why.
The whole shooting all night long for Marshall has been at a loss. Haven't shot the ball well, and that just magnifies your troubles on the road. 7 for 7 in college basketball. In my opinion, to be an excellent basketball team, you have to have guard play. You have to have 2 guards that can handle it, pass it, shoot it, and hit free throws. And tonight, Niblett and Palmer have lived up to their reputation.
East Tennessee State wants a timeout. Jason Niblett with 16, Eric Palmer with 21. For Marshall, Tyrone Phillips has 23. And with just 63 ticks left on the clock, East Tennessee State with a 7-point lead. We'll be back with the final minute from the Memorial Center in Johnson City, Tennessee in just a moment. The East Tennessee State Buccaneers with a 7-point lead over the Marshall Thundering Herd, and the Buccaneers celebrating. Just 63 ticks left.
Alive for 5. They're trying to get 1 for the thumb, trying to go for their 5th Southern Conference postseason tournament championship.
What a run. They have really owned the postseason tournament in Asheville, North Carolina for the past few seasons. Frank Martin quickly into the front court. Marshall needs points. They need him in a hurry.
Gotta let it fly.
Morrow, not the guy you wanting to take the three-pointer. He throws up an air ball.
Pelfrey deflected it. Now watch this Curly Neal dribbling exhibition, but they call the foul. So Palmer will be at the line with another opportunity, and just too much guard play.
Well, Marshall needed threes, but Chris Morrow was really not the guy that Dwight Freeman wanted throwing the ball up from outside the arc, and he knows it.
The best way to get a 3 is to go inside out, but East Tennessee State knows that this man's team needs the 3. So when it goes inside, they're not funneling back down. They're staying outside along the arc, and it's a very difficult shot with someone in your face. He missed?
I can't believe it. That's about the first thing Eric Palmer has done wrong tonight. He leads the Buccaneers with 21 points. 1 of 2.
8-point spread. That means it's a minimum 3 possession time for Marshall with only 48 seconds to go.
Frank Martin tries a 3.
Score in time if you can. You have to foul immediately.
Pelfrey is fouled. Chris Morrow gets the foul, and Pelfrey goes back to the free throw line.
This game may end up with a larger spread than is indicative of the effort from both clubs, because Marshall has to gamble now and hope that East Tennessee State doesn't hit their free throws.
And as Pelfrey heads to the free throw line, many of the Buccaneers fans start heading to the exits. They feel this one is in the bag, so to speak. 77-69. Pelfrey with 9 points tonight.
Going for his another double-digit performance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be his 6th straight double-figure scoring effort. And as a coach, you're looking for consistency. Both of these clubs are trying to find players they can depend on. And I still say Marshall has to find another scorer out on the floor. You cannot win with just one guy getting you 24, 25 points. This league is too tough. You have to have another weapon who can get you 15 to 18 a game. Then you're a pretty good ball club, and preferably from the perimeter.
Pelfrey hangs up a pair. It's a 10-point lead.
Now, if you're East Tennessee State, you don't want to stop the clock. You don't want to foul. You don't want to give up any second chance opportunities, but give them the shot.
Glenn Staples, air ball. Morrow, the rebound. Can't get it down.
Good
Pelfrey,
play.
the rebound. Silvers has it. And East Tennessee State just wants to eat clock. And Jason Niblett is fouled by Harold Simmons. Marshall trying to get back to the cream of the crop in the Southern Conference, but beaten back tonight by the traditional power in this league, East Tennessee State University.
And you talk about adding Georgia Southern to this conference. Davidson's back in the conference now. I'm telling you what, there's 4 or 5 or 6 clubs that can flat out play. It's going to be a dogfight down to the wire, because Georgia Southern still has to travel on the road. And as you can see by tonight, tough games on the road. Excellent conference.
Jason Niblett hangs up a pair. Most of these teams have played only 3 conference games. Everybody's got a loss with the exception of Georgia Southern. That ought to give you some kind of indication of how competitive this league's going to be. Chris Morrow with a basket.
A little showtime. Give it to me.
Jerry Pelfrey with the slam.
So East Tennessee State bounces back after their tough loss to Georgia Southern.
Marshall finally hits a 3-point goal, but it's too little and too late for Dwight Freeman and the Thundering Herd. The East Tennessee State Buccaneers win it 83-74. Our Key Centurion, Ashland Oil, players of the game for Thundering Herd, Tyrone Phillips. And we have co-players of the game as far as East Tennessee State are concerned. Jason Niblett had 18 points, and Eric Palmer, a co-player of the game, he finished with 22 points.
The dynamic duo, ultra quick, didn't turn it over. Nice ball game, enjoyed working with you.
For Jody Holtberg, this is Dave Weekly. The final score, East Tennessee State 83, Marshall 74. Good night from Johnson City, Tennessee.